And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio in the heart of Lincoln, America. And online at theticketfm.com. This is the Junior Achievement Hour.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns running the ones and twos. This is the Junior Achievement Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Keep in mind, we are only on streaming services. We got Royals on the FM airwaves, so if you want to put a face to the voice and join the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. You can catch us all there. But we bring in Jennifer and Nick, also part of Bison and Junior Achievements. So we got these guys in here today. Plenty of things to talk about. You guys also brought in some gifts. We got some pickleball paddles right away when you came in the door, but plenty of things to get to. So we'll kind of go ahead and start it off. Just get a little bit to know you guys at first, you know, how you got involved in Junior Achievements. Obviously, what is Bison? What are you guys all up to? So, Nick, we'll go ahead and start with you. So you're involved with Bison, and, you know, for those part of the Lincoln area, they might be kind of familiar with the brand as of now, because you said before you've been around since 1970, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So 1970. So what was kind of the origin of that and how you got involved with Bison?
Well, actually, I'm a founder. I was a co-founder. I had a high school friend, and we started a manufacturing firm back in the early 70s. And it actually wasn't in the sporting goods industry. It was we did work for people like Kawasaki and what was then Square D and Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, kind of an industrial job shop. And then because we were mostly male population, our employee base, we started having teams. You know, we'd have city rec softball teams, et cetera. And my business partner invented a little softball equipment caddy. So that was how Bison got founded. So we decided we couldn't sell a little product like that under the brand name Industrial Machine Specialties, which was the name of our company. So in the 80s, we started manufacturing sporting goods products, and kind of the rest is history. So
did you see a need for that, or what was it about that industry where you said, you know what, let's go ahead and start this up?
Yeah. Well, we had a little, as I mentioned, our softball team. You know, that was back when people didn't carry their own balls and bats in their own individual duffel bag. That's when you had an old Army duffel bag, and you threw the bats and the balls in there. And my business partner had a new car, and he was carrying around the balls and the bats, and it was pissed off that it was dirty and dirty in the back of his car. So he invented this little wire frame rack. Think of like a dishwasher rack. So a coated plastic wire rack that then had a zippered bag in it to put stuff in. And he asked me if I thought we could sell it. And I said, yeah, but probably not under the brand name Industrial Machine Specialties. So that's how we started. A very, very, very simple beginning. So yeah, I think most companies start with some sort of an idea to fill a need. And we thought that was a good need. And then ultimately got into basketball because it was the time of Daryl Dawkins and the NBA and breaking backboards. And so our first real product in the market that was successful was a breakaway basketball rim. We weren't the first, but we had a very low cost methodology.
Oh, no
to
kidding. So you guys
manufacture,
got
so-
on that during the
Yeah.
era where rims and backboards were shattering.
Yep.
You guys saw that, and you
Yep.
weren't the founders, but you got in there early
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, we absolutely did. So so that was kind of our initial product, and mostly basketball early on after our initial baseball, softball equipment caddy sort of thing. But mostly basketball for a number of years, and then got into volleyball and soccer and football goalposts and
That's incredible. Yeah, you talk about
and pickleball. Yeah, and pickleball.
You talk about getting into basketball. You think about that era of the NBA, right? The
Yeah.
physicality and the rims
Absolutely.
coming down. It's kind of funny. I'm like, yeah, I can see how that takes off in the basketball
And
industry.
of course, at the time, everybody said, "Well, is it Shaq proof?" Because that was that was the I must have heard it 1,000 times over the years. Is it Shaq proof? So
Absolutely.
Autograph on a catalog.
yeah, I had
Like
Shaq's
trade
autograph
show?
when he was a junior at LSU or sophomore, maybe at LSU. We were exhibiting at the Final Four basketball tournament, and Shaq walked. I didn't even know who he was, quite honestly. And he walked by because he was getting honored as the Player of the Year.
Yeah.
in the Division I basketball, and he walked by, and I got
You
him
had to have guessed he
I
was a
got him to
basketball
sign our
player.
catalog.
Pretty
I got him
tall.
to sign the cover of our catalog, and never did find the catalog. So we must
Oh,
have handed it out to somebody.
Yeah, there's someone holding on to that to this day.
yeah,
That's
maybe
like,
I don't know.
gosh.
Maybe they didn't know it. Maybe they threw it away too. I don't know. So
Oh, that's
hard
incredible.
to say.
And we'll dive more into that as
Oh,
well.
sure.
But that is Nick Cusick, again, founder of Bison. But we'll switch it up here. We'll get to know Jennifer a little bit as well. Kind of your background and what eventually kind of led you into Junior Achievements as well.
Well, I started in Junior Achievement when I was a high school student.
Okay.
We had a really fun company program. High school students from all schools in Lincoln came in. We sold stock. We chose a product. We elected officers. We sold it. We distributed the profit. Probably made some donations to nonprofits along the
Mhm.
way, and had a great time. Did that for 4 years. Ended up volunteering. Ended up working at JA. Now I'm on the JA board. Been volunteering the whole time, and that was a very long time ago, of course. But just really hard to get away from JA. They do so much good in the community. Obviously came from an entrepreneurial background and appreciated that. And I think it really makes a big difference with the high school students then, but now K through 12.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I say it all the time, but I know those classes they run through high school, but man, I wouldn't hurt taking some of those classes where I'm
I
at
think
right
most
now.
of us are in that boat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not too late, It's not too late. We could do an individual class tonight after work.
Hey, you know
Yeah,
what?
there we
I'm
go.
sure we could all use it, like you said.
Well, if you're here
Um,
next week, I think Tony and Tyson are going to be here, and they just got back from the JA USA convention.
Okay.
But I think they're expanding the curriculum into adults out in the workforce. So I think people into their 20s.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where they're headed.
Hey, that's where I need to go.
Exactly.
And,
Well, you ask them what they can do to help you out.
Well, and that's the thing. You think about Junior Achievements, and if you go to the website, I do believe it's lincoln.ja.org. Yep.
Mhm.
So if you go to lincoln.ja.org, you guys do just have one of the sites is just full stats on
Yeah.
how much better these kids do. They're more likely to start their own business. They're more likely to start saving for retirement, in their 20s and 30s. They're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
They get the idea of I can be an entrepreneur while I'm still in high school. That
Absolutely.
didn't cross my mind until I was out of college to even
Right.
start a business. So when you're going through, just as one of the students, what did you kind of enjoy most about Junior Achievements?
It was really fun getting credit for the work that you put in. I guess that's maybe sounding a little crazy, but nowadays I think a lot of people work really hard, but I'm not sure that they get rewarded for their hard work, or it's pretty easy to make it through school right now.
Yeah.
But that was like School of Soft Knocks is what Ken Carlson, he was in charge of JA when I was there, called it. You could make your mistakes and nothing bad happened. You could be the top salesperson and you got applauded. You could
Mhm.
make some money on the side. We met people that we stayed in touch with for many, many years afterwards. So
Oh, wow.
it was a great program. I mean, it really was starting a tiny company
Mhm.
in the course of 20 weeks.
So, at that time, did you think that you say now that you haven't left Junior Achievements? It's been pretty much part of you ever
It really
since you
has
started.
been, yeah.
Would you ever see that happening? Was this something that you sought out, or is it just always stayed in your life because, subconsciously you just like it that much?
I guess I can see the impact. Like
Mhm.
I'm teaching in middle school classrooms most of the time now, and not all of the middle school students really love everything you're telling them. But
Right.
2 or 3 after the first couple of sessions, like you can see the light bulb above their head and they're thinking how that applies to their life and their parents' lives and what they might want to do when they get out of school and how they're going to save for a car. And you're like, wow, this is making an actual difference. And
Mhm.
I have to admit, it's super hard to fit into the schedule that very first class. But after the first class, you can't wait to get back.
Yeah, and like I said
Yeah.
before, you guys are. I feel like if the student grasps what you guys are teaching, it's only beneficial, right? It's learning how
Yeah.
to take care of your own finances, and I'm sure you guys can talk about this. We all can today, but the money's confusing now. You know, it's
Yeah.
there's a million ways to spend it, and every day
Yeah.
there's a new way to spend it. Whether it's Venmo, credit cards,
Right.
loans, mortgages, it's all over the place, and you know, it can be confusing. So if you get that financial literacy, which is what Junior Achievements is really great at, that's only going to help you out in the long run. But switching over to Nick, you know, I kind of want to know at the beginning, where did you get started with Junior Achievements, and you know, where was that calling for you, and that cause stick out for you?
Sure. Well, my first involvement with Junior Achievement was taking Jennifer and her sister ultimately to JA evening program.
Okay.
So Jennifer talked about that. Jennifer's my daughter,
Mhm.
one of my daughters. So you know, Jennifer spent their 4 years in JA, as did our daughter Sarah, who's 3 years younger. And so our first involvement was really taking them to JA, and then we'd go sit at Misty's and wait while they did their company thing for a couple, 3 hours, and we'd have dinner and drinks and whatever. So that was really my first involvement, but that wasn't a very deep involvement at that point. But then I saw the impact it had on the kids. They both are basically their careers right now are largely driven by the kind of things they did in Junior Achievement.
Mhm.
Our daughter Sarah is the director of marketing and communications, or excuse me, Jennifer's the director of marketing and communications at Bison, and our daughter Sarah is the director of human resources, and that's what she
she was
did.
the
She
HR
did. She was
every
the
year
HR
in
director all
JA.
4 years during
She
the
loved
JA
it.
after school program.
Yeah.
So.
That's incredible.
So, you know, but then I think my first involvement beyond just that was some of the people I knew in JA. I was not on the board at the time, but came to me, and I'd been involved in the Pius Bolt fundraising auction. It's kind of one of the biggest
Mhm.
fundraising auctions in Lincoln, and asked me why Bolt was so successful, and wanted to know what we could do with the JA auction to increase the success, the financial success of the auction. And I said two things. One, make it more informal, because it was mostly something that people came in ties and suits and kind of felt like they had to come to. But the other was have free alcohol. So,
Those were your
so
contributions.
that loosens up people's pocketbooks for an auction. So,
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
advice.
so I
Good
actually paid for
advice.
the alcohol the first 2 or 3 years. So, and then they figured out it helped. So, but so I got on the board, was the board chair, with the board chair for a couple years. I'm currently the head of the trustee group, and
Mhm.
you know, I've been teaching Junior Achievement in the classroom, starting I think it is 6th grade for a couple years, where they just started middle school
Right.
Junior Achievement in classroom. But more recently, I've taught 3rd graders, and they're still fun, quite honestly. So if there's any 6th graders out there, you're listening, which probably isn't, you're still fun, but 3rd graders are still fun. They're still inquisitive. And I remember one specific class that I was teaching, and we were teaching about our city, and they talking about why different buildings in town are in different places, and they talked about the zoning and that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to remember the name of the position in the city that they mentioned that is the kind of determines where stuff goes. And
City planner.
city planner. Yes,
Mhm.
thank you
That's
so
what
much.
they call it.
Well, when you get the thank you notes at the end of a class, which is always fun to get thank you
Oh,
notes, because
yeah.
the teachers make them all write thank you notes, and here's what I learned. And I remember a 3rd grader saying he decided he was going to become a city planner. So this is
Yeah.
Oh,
this is
that's
3rd
awesome.
grade. So
Yeah.
you're,
That's
you know,
incredible.
and he might not be a city planner, probably won't be a city planner, but the fact that it
Yeah, you got the wheels spinning.
you got the
right?
wheel spinning. So
Yeah, in the middle school grades, it's really fun because we talk a lot about career paths and things
Mhm.
that they're good at and things they have experience, things they're interested in. And yeah, a whole bunch of people think, you know, okay, I can be a teacher, I can be whatever my parents are. And they don't even think outside of that. So
Yeah.
it is amazing. Again, more light bulbs going off. The kids really get a lot out of it.
And that's what I'm always kind of impressed by, right? Because you're teaching financial literacy to, at some point, 3rd graders, and
Right.
you have to keep them interested and captivated.
Oh, yeah.
So what are kind of some of these projects you do? I'm always amazed by the creativity you guys have and able to get the kids not only participating in activities, but also make it enjoyable at the same time, so it sticks with them. So what are some of those activities that you guys do, whether, you know, it's a favorite one or maybe just one of the more interesting activities that really gets the group working together well?
you know, certainly the JA provides great curriculum. So there is a
Absolutely.
baseline of curriculum that you're supposed to teach at each grade level.
Right.
But those of us who are kind of wing it sort of people who don't follow the curriculum. We
Yeah,
certainly
some
get
of
the
the more
me-
senior
we
volunteers,
certainly get the
yeah.
message across. But
Right.
in our third grade, our city curriculum, you're talking about a lot of things, like I say, the city planner and why the school is where the school is and why the airport might be why the airport's not next to the school and why it's
Right.
not in the middle of the city, et cetera. But one of the activities I like to do with them is go around the room, our classroom, and look at talk about trades. We talk about jobs and careers. I talk about the difference between a job and a career. My idea is a job is something you have to go do to make
Right.
money to buy stuff, and a
Yeah.
career is something you kind of want to do so that hopefully when you get up in the morning, you don't mind going to work. And so we talked about the bricklayer and the the electricians and the carpet layers and the painters and the cabinet makers and all that stuff. So I think that's always a fun activity because the kids always come up with great ideas, looking around the room and trying to figure out, well, who would have done that, because they just
Yeah.
assume that the building just magically is there.
Well,
So-
absolutely. And when you're kind of going through that too, I'm sure it's a fun project because they're seeing all this stuff kind of come together. You're thinking, if you're one of those people that does like that blue collar trade, you
Yeah.
know, and you're thinking that together, it's like, well, being part of that process.
Yeah, and it's not just blue collar in that case. Obviously, there's engineers.
Oh, yeah.
There's architects.
You bring out the whole
there's
Mhm.
the finance people behind the financing of the project and all
Absolutely.
of that stuff. So, yeah, it's not just a blue collar sort of a
Yeah,
thing.
illustrates
Construction
all your career
construction
paths.
science is not just a blue collar jobs. So
Absolutely. And then Jennifer, switching to you, kind of that same question, with junior achievements, is there any favorite activities or ones that really stick out to you and you remember?
Yeah. So we haven't had a company program for a long time, but that's obviously my favorite. But I already explained that. It did come back. JAUS, they brought it back. So any of the company program graduates out there, we can get that all put back together again if we need to, or we can help in the classroom. But I think my favorite, there's an economics for success curriculum, which is usually in 8th grade. And we take what can be really dry, a budget, and we kind of flip it. Like, okay, define a budget as you want to get something. Let's say when you're 16, because you're in 8th grade now, you want to buy a car. How much money do you have to save between now and then? If you only work in the summer, if you work every day from now until then, how much do you have in savings? What do you think the car is going to cost? What's your expense look like for owning a car? So the budgeting exercise, we kind of flipped on its head,
Mhm.
but not very many people don't want a car at 16. So it was motivating for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good for them to kind of get the wheel spinning, right? Because as you start to
Absolutely.
get older, your wants and needs change a lot. And you have
Yeah.
to be able to kind of write that down, figure it out.
Wants and needs
or
is
wants.
first grade.
Yeah.
That's when they teach that.
Well, it got
So
to
if
me
you
in
miss
high
that,
school.
you're
I
gonna
didn't
have to
figure
go
that
way
out.
back to first grade.
you need to figure out the difference between wants and needs. Huh?
It took me a
You're
while.
still thinking about it. You're still
We'll
thinking-
say if my bank account in high school would have told me I need to figure that one out. Again.
Right. That's a
There
good
you go.
JA skill.
There you go.
But nonetheless, we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. We got 2 more segments left with the Junior Achievement Hour. Again, I'm Harrison. We got Nick Cusick and Jennifer Rawlinson in here, both in studio with us. And if again you want to join the show, 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Join us on streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. Again, Junior Achievement Hour. We'll go to break and catch you guys on the other side.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And
My chicken condo went haywire.
that's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You are so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call
John Henry's
today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435 55 55. John Henry's coming.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Now, back to the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Junior Achievement Hour. I am Harrison Arns, pushing the ones and twos on the board. We got Nick Cusick and Jennifer Rawlinson both in studio here with us representing JA. And again, if you guys want to get more involved with Junior Achievements or just learn more, make sure to go to lincoln.ja.org. They can answer a lot of questions there, how to get involved, and all sorts of information on what they do and the good they provide for the community. But before we got started on the show here, Jennifer did bring me an interesting video that she wanted me to go ahead and cut up. And while I'm getting it ready here, why don't you go ahead and explain what I'm about to play here for everyone?
I just thought it was a nice tie-in. JA USA has some new promotions to help our local offices like Lincoln create awareness, bring volunteers, really explain the message.
Mhm.
But this one has a sports message, and we're here as sporting goods manufacturer, so I thought it was the perfect time to play it.
Absolutely. And, you know, I got to listen to it, and it does have a great message. And it's a well done ad, to say the least.
Imagine a world where no one explains the rules of the game. No practice, no game plan, no coaches. Just go out there and do your best, kid. But your best isn't good enough. Why? Because you are unprepared for the game. It's unfair, but nobody blames the player. They blame the circumstances. Now, imagine a world where no one explains the rules to the game of life. No discussions of how money works. No game plan for how education supports your future job or career. And certainly no coaching about how to start or run a business. Just go out there and do your best, kid. But your best isn't good enough. You're unprepared for the game. This time, though, people blame the player, not the circumstances. But there's no need to imagine this. It happens every day. Too many young people leave school without critical skills in financial literacy, work and career readiness, and entrepreneurship to reach their potential in life. And it costs all of us. Junior Achievement is working on leveling the playing field. But we can't do it alone. We need your support. Suit up. It's game time.
So there it is. And again, I thought it was an awesome ad. It was well done. There's some really great lines in there, especially talking about how, in the sports world, it's never the player. You get into the financial and it's always on you, despite, the surroundings you may have had. So I guess, you want to play that ad, and I'm sure there are a lot of reasons why, but what, in the messaging of that ad really stuck out to you? Why was it so important to play?
So JA needs volunteers. We need to reach the kids so that they get the message. I think this does a great job in a sports community like Lincoln. Could you even imagine sending your kid out to play soccer without attending any practices?
And
or you don't even tell them what the rules of soccer would look like, or you're going to volleyball and you don't have any idea how this is supposed to look. But without volunteers, JA can't get the message out and give these skills to the kids, so that the game of life, that's what they need. And that's what we're providing. But we're a little short on the volunteer side. So I really hope that motivates a few people. They think about how JA might have affected themselves. Maybe they were in the company program like me, or maybe they were a parent that a kid came home and said, we did this cool thing and we learned what wants versus needs are. Or that was you, right?
Yeah, in high school, unfortunately. If JA was there, I would have learned it, first grade.
Oh, I had somebody come up to me, went to have my car done, and they said, oh, I think you were my JA teacher. That was my favorite part of the week. And
that's awesome.
So I just really think all of us can take those 5 sessions, curriculums provided, go in and talk a little bit, about what you do and what the topics are that JA gives you, and the kids are going to react really well to that.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about, what being a volunteer means. And again, if you're curious, again, you get all this information at lincoln.ja.org, but, say, you're leaning over the fence, you're curious, you want to become a volunteer. What does that training look like? Obviously, you guys have a curriculum. You have support. The Lincoln Public Schools, they don't just give you the kids for an hour and shut the door behind them. They're there to help you out and assist there as well. So what does that kind of look like to kind of get the wheels rolling once someone says, you know what, this is a good cause. It's not only good for me, it's great for the community. How do I get started in this process?
Yeah, I mentioned this to Bud Seinhorst when I was here for the LIBA show. Shout out to LIBA. But you just take a few minutes to look at the materials, review the book. If you've done it, the same classroom, same curriculum.
I review the materials on my way in the car on the way to school. Shame on me. But I've done it so many times that I pretty much know what I'm going to do.
You're a pro at this point.
Yeah. I don't know about a pro, but yeah.
But I really think that this community is what it is because of these types of sessions. And as a volunteer, first time is definitely the hardest, but after that, the teacher is more welcoming. They put up a slideshow that they have a link to. You go through the activities, there's handouts and worksheets, and you just talk about your experience and then tie it into what the topic of the day is.
Absolutely. And
Very straightforward.
so I do want to ask about this because I think it ties in as well to some of the problems Junior Achievements is facing right now. So what is, kind of some of the biggest problems right now? I think you mentioned it, volunteers. It's obviously one, you need more numbers, but
I guess let me just expand on that. Just kind of
go for
by
it.
the numbers. Some people are numbers people. So we
You
teach
especially.
about 30,000 students a year, and if you just do the math, and if there's 25 students in a classroom, if you do the math, that's well in excess of 1,000 volunteers in the classroom. That's a big undertaking. So we definitely need volunteers to continue to expand our program. I would say, we got great partners in Lincoln Public Schools. We got great partners in the parochial schools here in the Lincoln and the surrounding area. Certainly, we have great partners also in the homeschooling community, and they recognize the value that we bring in financial literacy. Because quite honestly, most school districts historically, that hasn't been a big part of their curriculum. They know it should be, but it's just not. They just don't have the right curriculum for it. So they've always looked in Lincoln here to JA for that. So certainly by the numbers, it's it's important to continue to recruit volunteers. We have some volunteers, quite honestly, who do. I think our biggest volunteer this year, our volunteer who did the most classrooms, I think did 18 classrooms,
you're right.
one volunteer.
Himself.
So that's a
One
big load.
person.
Fortunately, he's retired. But and it's a friend of mine, so a shout out to Mike Boland, by the way. But so volunteers is certainly it. But in addition to that, financial, there's financial ties. Obviously, we have a staff to coordinate all of this. It takes a lot of coordination. I think we have about six or seven member staff, and we got great financial support in the community. The banks, the financial institutions of variety of sorts, historically the manufacturers, I think all, including our company, the reason we're involved heavily, and we have a fair number of employees who teach JA classes, is that we just kind of view it as the right thing to do and the right thing, but there's also a selfish motive that we want kids to come out of school, whatever level, whether they come out of high school or out of college or trade school, with just knowledge of how the world works. And we think Junior Achievement is the right organization to do that. So
absolutely. And I want to talk about that, your business being partnered up with Junior Achievements. Cause I think, I hear this a lot, but from what I hear is some of these workers, they go do their session, that hour, 45 minutes, whatever it may be. And they come back almost a better worker, more productive, more energetic. They're almost, got an extra bump in their step a little bit. Is there any truth to that? Have you noticed that in your own workplace?
Well, there is. I just speak to myself. Jennifer mentioned how one of her, she's had multiple probably examples where she'd run into an old student of hers in the classroom and said, JA was the best part of my day or best part of my week. I'd have to say it's the best part of my week when I teach. I would say I get sweaty palms, however. I can talk in public. I can talk in front of any size group. I don't have any problem with that. Don't need a script. But when I go to my third grade class, I have to say I get sweaty palms every time. And I've never quite figured out why that is, but I think I've come to the conclusion that I just want so much for them to have a good time and find it worthwhile and have some impact on them. So, but it's it is, and we strongly encourage it. And it's not just Junior Achievement. We strongly encourage teammates. We strongly encourage people to get involved in the church, or we serve food at the gathering place. We think people who give back,
absolutely,
whatever it is, are better employees.
Yeah. And then, you mentioned it's not just Junior Achievements, but obviously what you do is great work, teammates, big brother, big sister. It's all that community aspect, right? And how you can get involved. So when you're looking for a volunteer, what are you asking for them time-wise? What do you need time-wise? That this is what you should be expecting if you're seriously interested in helping us out in this aspect.
We've been talking a lot about offering to help a brand new volunteer out by sending a more experienced volunteer with them the first time.
Okay.
I had a new intern and she was excited to go help and little apprehensive about being in charge of a classroom. And I said, I'll come with you all of the sessions. No problem. First one, I'm like, well, what can I do? She's like, oh, I think I got this. And she didn't even need me to come back the last 5. So I think a volunteer just needs a little bit of time. You got some drive time to the school, but you can look on the map at lincolnja.org, find a school close to your workplace or close to your home. If you're going in the morning, you talk to the teacher, you set up a framework, a schedule once a week, twice a week, all in one week. You can do it however it works best for you and the teacher. And then, yeah, look over the book before you go. Maybe open up that PowerPoint and see which slides are the most meaningful for you. But it's really only 5 or 6 sessions.
And they're
So
only
easy.
45 to an hour, right?
Oh, the little kids are not even 30 minutes.
Okay, so that's even
Yeah.
more reason
Yeah.
that you can make
And the
time.
teacher helps you pick groups, who's the best in which
Mhm.
group. And if somebody gets a little talkative, which happens a lot with JA because we're doing hands-on activities, experiential learning, then the teacher helps calm them down. And it's really fun.
So since we're on that, and anyone that is apprehensive that maybe still has a little bit of butterflies, can you guys remember your first session that you were teaching where maybe you had some of those own jitters?
I don't think I had any butterflies because I was in high school when I started teaching business basics. So I went back to my old school that I just got out of before I went to Pius.
Oh, so you
and
just plugged
started
right back
teaching
in.
right on. Yeah, we were making pens.
So
No
you were
stress.
smooth process.
Well,
no
you know, when you're
jitters.
in high school, everything's good. You
Yeah,
don't have any
that's a
big
good point.
butterflies. Yeah.
Nick, what about you?
Well, one thing to consider, certainly, as I mentioned, I get sweaty palms even after all these years of teaching third grade, same curriculum. But the one of the things I'd want to mention is, one of the sources of recruits are parents who are employed, who have kids in school, who need volunteers, and it's great to teach your kids. That's a great opportunity to connect with your kids in school. If you're a third grader at Pound or a third grader at East Ridge, I don't know all the schools, but
elementary school.
why not volunteer to be the volunteer there, and maybe then teach fourth grade and fifth grade and sixth grade. Kind of stay with your
We have
stay with your
volunteers
kid.
that
I believe Bud
are.
did that, didn't he?
Bud is working. Well, he said his daughter over here if he can teach.
That's right.
Her class because she's getting to that age. But we have volunteers who are teaching in their niece's classroom. They're the teacher. So even if you know a teacher that you think wants to have JA, then you can pair up with a certain teacher or a certain kid or your niece or nephew. It's really fun to have those tie-ins, or go back to your alma mater.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
that's what I really like. Basically, the point I'm getting is you guys will be very flexible in making it work.
Super
We'll
accommodating.
find a way to get those 5 sessions
Yeah.
in. And if you even need backup, which,
We're good.
turns out it can happen, but by the end of it, you probably didn't need it anyways,
not.
but it helps the nerve nonetheless.
Yeah.
But we got one more break here. Before we go to that break, though, just for anyone who's on the fence, they're listening, they're really thinking about it, an elevator pitch to kind of sell them on this is a right decision. It's not only going to benefit the kids, it's going to benefit you as well. So elevator pitch, one last quote message to kind of get them aboard.
Well, I would say to commit 5 or 6 or 7 hours in a year to impact 25 or 30 kids in a classroom, the feeling that you get from having impacted those kids and the long range impact it has on them is incredibly rewarding. So that's certainly incredible, and it's really easy. It's just really
I
easy.
was gonna borrow Nike's "Just Do It," or maybe Larry the Cable Guy's "Get Her Done." You did a much better
Yeah,
job
those are-
on the
those are
elevator
good
pitch
ones, yeah.
side.
No, those are cleverer than my comments. So.
Yeah, either way, some good ones there. You go simple Nike, just do it, or you can bring in, it's touching multiple kids in just only a few five sessions.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's really cool. And what Nick Cusick spoke on is it's not that much time, but you'd be amazed on how much you can reach, and you just don't know where those ripple effects are going to end, right? And I think that's the best thing you can do, especially as you're getting older and you want to help out the youth any way they can, because it's going to be up to them one day to let Lincoln continue to be the place that it is. But with that being said, we got to go ahead and throw it to break. Again, this is Junior Achievement Hour. I'm here with Nick Cusick and Jennifer Rawlinson. I'm Harrison Arns, pushing the 1s and 2s. We got one more segment. So again, 402-464-5685, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 951. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with Roof Credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Now, back to the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Junior Achievement Hour here on Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns pushing the 1s and 2s. We got Jennifer and Nick in studio here with us for the Junior Achievement Hour. And again, join the show, Sargo Heyman text line 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. I'm going to run out of breath.
Yeah, that's a lot of streaming.
As this company keeps growing, we're going to have more streaming service, but it's a good thing. Good problem to have. We got a little bit of time here. I do want to kind of highlight some of these events you guys have coming up. So I'll kind of throw it to you guys because it's going to be pretty busy these next few months here.
Yeah, JA has some great events. And again, when I started out in the company program, we didn't have all of these, but some of you may not want to go into the classroom. That doesn't mean you have to not support JA, just if you don't want to be a classroom volunteer. We do have a young professionals board for it's target age 25 to 40, but that's not a hard and fast rule. That, you know, some of our most innovative, energetic, philanthropic folks involved in JA have started on the YP board. So we really encourage anyone who's maybe new to the community or just launched a new business or just graduated and want to put their efforts into something productive, something that really impacts the community. That's a YP board application process. So you can go to lincoln.ja.org for that. We had a stock market challenge. We need a lot of volunteers. Imagine a stock market without any stock market folks. Sponsorships, team sponsors. Again, you're down in PBA. The students are high stress. It's really fun. So that's something that is usually in April, if that works better with your schedule. We also could use some high school teams to register. We have a bowl-a-thon in February every year, partner with local bowling alleys, 2,000 bowlers. That's a lot of people. So people can have bowling teams and raise money, pledges. But our biggest event actually is the dinner and auction with a little bit of tee up earlier about that. Maybe you can.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that it was probably 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, when some of the JA folks came to me and asked me why we were so successful at the Pius Bold Auction. And I mentioned that we serve free alcohol, which we hadn't been doing at Junior Achievement, but other stuff as well, and trying to make it formal, informal, and fun, and a good event. So I think I've probably been to every JA auction in the last 25 years, except one or two that I've missed because I was out of town. And it's a great event, and it is our biggest single fundraiser. I think we raised typically about $100,000 is kind of our target. So it's a good number, and that's coming up on September 22nd.
September 22nd.
It's at the
Cornhusker.
I think it's almost always been at the Cornhusker, but I just wanted to make sure. And there are still some tables available.
Okay.
But we need auction items. Obviously, you can't raise money at a fundraising dinner just selling the dinners. Yeah, you got to have auction and get people at the tables that are bidding on the items. So we've had some great things over the years, some great trips.
Oh wow.
One of our big supporters, Mark and Kathy LeBaron, donate wine out of their large wine cellar.
Oh, nice.
And I try to buy it every year because it's incredible wine. So there's just some great stuff. A lot of sports memorabilia is common. So yeah, we need table hosts to have a table. Yeah, it's a great thing for a company. It's a great get together for a company to bring some of their executives together and have a night of shooting the breeze, not just all business, just having a good time and supporting a great cause, and maybe in some cases rewarding some of your employees who have indeed taught classes in the classroom. So it's a great event, and again, it's coming up on the 22nd, and looking forward to seeing people there.
Absolutely. So it's coming up on 22nd. Sounds like an awesome event, and I might have missed, but how do they sign up for that? Where do they go? They
can reach out. Elena is leading the charge on the auction this year. So they can call 402-467-1010. Also, lincoln.ja.org has contact form. We would absolutely love some fresh new live auction items. I think we're trying to reach 200 silent auction items.
Okay.
So if you're a new business and want to get the name in front of business owners in this community, JA Auction is the place to do that. I also heard that there were going to be some Husker athletes.
There you go.
Got to add a little bit more fun every year, right? So that'll add a little bit more excitement. And September 22nd again is the date. So
absolutely, and it seems like an awesome event. There's gonna be some Huskers there, some cool items. You might get some nice rare wine, some finely aged wine as well.
I guess we'll take wine donations too. If anyone is offering, they can drop it off at the station, right?
I would say, one of the most popular items at all auctions, including the JA auction, are trips. So if you have a vacation home that you don't use all the time,
Need a
but
tax
and you
deduction.
can take tax deduction, donate it. They always sell well, So that's if you happen to have a vacation home in Colorado and want to give up a weekend or a long weekend or a week at that, they always sell well.
That's a great cause too.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
be giving that
Great
away for a
cause.
great cause.
Yep.
Before I play the out music here, it's been a great hour, but is there anything that I missed that you guys want to speak on before we get out of here?
I would just say Jay is a great cause. There's a lot of great causes. Certainly, this is a cause that hits a lot of kids in the Lincoln area for a lot of years. Many kids have had JA in their classroom every year from kindergarten through high school, and I can guarantee it has a big impact on their life.
Absolutely. With that being said, I don't think we're going to have anything better on that. Appreciate Nick Cusick, Jennifer Rawlinson for coming in here, representing Junior Achievements and doing it well today. And again, go to theticketfm.com in case you missed any of the podcast. But that's going to do it for us. Appreciate you guys listening and enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.